everybody, it's your hospitality friend Glenn here on the show floor of AAHOA, and I found Suraj Bhakta, CEO of NewGen Advisory. I know a lot of you have probably bought hotels through these guys before, but first, I want to thank our friends over at Actable. Actable, they give you the power to profit. Check them out at actable.com. So this is cool. It's our first time doing an interview.
First time
together.
No vacancy, absolutely.
This is great. All right, so one thing that's not great, market dynamics. Those pretty much went out the window, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, Trumpville likes to throw a little wrench every once in a while, and so it's been a roller coaster last year.
I hadn't noticed that first term was so smooth. There was no friction.
No friction at all. But it's, you know, it's interesting. I mean, here we are at a AAHOA, you know, trade floor.
Right.
And, you know, things have always been changing, you know, with the tariffs coming through. You know, there's an interesting dynamic going on. I mean, buyers are very cognizant of what that new renovation cost is going to look like. And, you know, it's not that it's always going to be a massive impact, but there's an impact. And nonetheless, you know, when you got to come up with another 100K or 200K, and in larger projects, $500,000 in, you know, tariff money, so to speak, right?
I was just talking to a designer just this morning, and be sure to check out that segment I did on Caesars, New Orleans. That they're talking about the challenges that they're having. They're in the middle of projects. They priced them all out, and now it's going to mess those existing projects up. And that sense of, I don't know, for those future projects, they are saying they're already starting to see maybe a slow up in business. And I've heard this from other design firms as well, for example.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them, you know, they will get worried that they have to go back to the owners and say, hey, how are we going to make this work? And, you know, my background is that of an attorney, so I already familiar with a lot of force majeure clauses, and those were things that people started looking at back in COVID time.
Oh, yeah.
But these are those things that constantly now are changing people's appetite, right? I mean, in terms of how much can they really take on in new development, people don't want to buy properties with large pips anymore because it's too much of an unknown. And what is it actually going to get?
So that's an interesting point that you just made there, because typically, for the younger people out there that don't know, unlike your home, you sell a hotel in bad condition and allow the owner to do something. And I've never heard of maybe that formula going upside down.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's, I think, look, and there's always some new things that people are introducing.
Yeah.
We're seeing, you know, there's a push and pull between the buyer and the seller these days. Every buyer says, hey, seller, I want you to finish the work, right? Now the sellers are like, hey, take it or leave it. It is, as is, where is. It's your problem to figure out how you're going to get the property renovated. Yeah, go on. So, no, I was just going to say that's the challenge in today is who really wants that responsibility.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I just get to complain about stuff on air, and I'm not worried about real responsibility. But how does then the market shake out in a world of uncertainty where nothing is clear and your decisions are obfuscated, right? So what do you do? What are you seeing out there? Are people going to be buying and selling this year?
You know, I still think there's an appetite. Look, what we saw since COVID, 22, there was about 4,000 and some transactions that happened in 2022. It was one of the banner years. From then, 23 went down almost to half. It was about 2,400, 2,500 deals that happened nationwide. After that, we've looked at in 2024 now, it was almost down to 1,800.
That's a significant difference.
Yeah, so you're dropping, but what that's creating is, look, there's a lot of people with money on the sidelines. They'll say, hey,
it took what, 4 minutes to get to money on the sideline.
There's money on the side, but people know they want to invest, right? At some point. And the sellers are getting tempered a little bit. I think now people are realizing, like, look, it's not just looking at a replacement cost. I have to be more pragmatic about it. If I want to sell, if I want to do something different, so am I going to take that renovation cost?
So how does the CMBS stuff coming due affect your thinking of whether people are going to be forced to sell or not? Because as an outsider, my understanding is a lot of loans are coming due right now, and people are going to have to either renegotiate or get out.
Yeah, you know, we're finding the CMBS is still renegotiating themselves a little bit, and we're finding guys are staying in it a little bit longer. And that concept of these loans coming due has been coming up for a couple of years now, and we really haven't seen that level of like distress or exit.
That's great.
That people have looked at, right? So it's been talked about, but hasn't been really realized in a lot of ways. I think they're getting a lot more people working it out because the lenders are hard to come by.
Is it an extend or pretend situation, or things are actually getting worked out?
I think they're actually getting worked out to some extent. Some of them might be extending, but there's other lenders that are coming in and say, hey, we'll do this, more on a long-term basis or something else.
Right. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to continue pretending that I'm a hotelier over there. Hope you'll have it.
All good.
Anything else that we need to know about what you're seeing out there?
I am seeing a lot of guys, that complain on the labor side and the issues that have continued to grow.
Yep.
I had several guys come to this conference talking to me about automating and kiosks and different technology things. And I think that's amazing. I mean, I know one thing, ownership's have always been resilient.
Yep.
And even COVID showed us how resourceful we can get with our own right of the properties. And now, I mean, these guys are shopping kiosks literally to replace people. Now, yes, good and bad at the same time. We like to have people that have jobs, but at the same time, from an ownership standpoint, they're getting efficient.
Yeah. That's really what it is. And one thing, I've said this before, and those of you who follow know, it's always amazing when you think you've extracted as many expenses out as you can. You can't really do anything more. New technologies seem to come in and below the roof of what you're able to do.
Yeah.
So even though things seem challenging, there's lots of opportunities out there. And no matter what, if we could get through COVID, this is nothing to me, Suraj.
Makes it easy that way, huh?
Yep. How can we learn more about you guys?
We've been doing great. Look, man, we are, we got about 29 agents now, and we've been adding over time. We've been broker licensed in about 26, but we've done transactions in 44 states now.
Holy cow.
So for us, we feel blessed. Got a great team, and we appreciate all the people that have trusted us over time and working with us in the industry.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And thanks for you guys watching to the end. As a reward, I'm going to ask you to like and share this video. I'm Glenn. That's Suraj. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.